Oh my god, new stream layout. New stream layout. Except Phantom isn't here, so I gotta until he shows up. I gotta take him off the little board. Speaking of people not showing up, where the fuck is Spazzy? He's here in the call. Anyway, shout out to our staff member Voyager for doing up a bunch of new stream layouts and some fancy new icons. Ooh, wish I had a little soundboard here so I could play like the stock like noise. That'd be fucking epic. Goddamn. Hello and welcome to the second Good Morning Source Gaming of 2022. I am Columns, and I will presumably soon be joined by Spazzy and potentially Phantom Z2, if Phantom Z2 wakes up, which is a seeming running issue. Let's see. What can we cover while we I was trying to look for. Oh, there you are. There you fucking are. I was gonna say, every time I host Good Morning Source Gaming, I always default to DJ Cutman's Wii U Grooves album. Let me put a little screen cap of my iTunes windows so I can show you. Like this is like just every time there's a thing we got to do, it's this. But I've been trying to look for new music to use just because it's it's nice to change it up every once in a while. And I found this album. I found this album for $2 called Uh-Oh by a band called Tipsy. And it's really good. it's shockingly good. Spazzy, I think you'd get a kick out of it.
It is, what's the name again?
It's called Uh-Oh by Tipsy. It actually has a Bandcamp link. Let me, even though it's from like 2001, it has a Bandcamp link. I want to see if I can reach out to the band itself and ask if we can have permission to play their music. because they're this album. If you I'll put a link in the text chat too. It sounds like the incidental music of like a late PS1 era game. Like it sounds like the backing tracks to like the South Park first person shooter or Earthworm Jim 3D.
I like it. I'm listening to just
Yeah, it's a
percent.
bop. It's a banger. I actually really like it. Some nice, not every song has to have lyrics. It just sometimes you want like some really good just instrumental grooves.
I mean,
And
isn't that exactly why those 10,000 different whatever type of music for studying YouTube accounts exist?
exactly. This fits right in, except it's a bit more energized. It's a bit more upbeat.
You know what I've been doing recently?
What's that?
I am not at all one of those people that's like, let's watch people live react to other things because I'd rather just watch the thing.
Oh yeah,
But because of the Spider-Man No Way Home movie,
yeah.
a bunch of reactors are all like, let's go watch the old Spider-Man movies. And it's very funny because it's like, there's this girl that's all like literally halfway through, she was like comparing it to a bunch of like Marvel movies, like, or maybe I just haven't watched anything except for MCU movies. I'm like, yes, this is very entertaining to me.
They recognize the issue.
Yeah. Ah. You realize how derivative all the movies you're watching are.
Yeah, which is kind of funny though, because I feel like the Raimi Spider-Man movies, and I mean even Amazing Spider-Man, have like very different like tones and approach than the MCU movies.
They do, but I feel like
They don't really feel like the same, cut from the same cloth, you know.
I understand what you're saying, but I feel like there's certain through lines, especially with the characters.
I guess.
Yeah. The amazing. I still. By the way, those Amazing Spider-Man movies. And I think it's because they came out in that era of 3D. If I had to guess,
Yeah.
because the swinging is so much more dynamic than in either the MCU or the Raimi movies. Like and Sam Raimi obviously is amazing at directing action. But I don't know what it is, man. I really love. I think the all of the action beats in those Mark Webb movies are, I think, the best Spider-Man action beats.
Meanwhile, I rewatched Amazing Spider-Man 1 recently, and I thought it was pee pee poo poo.
It is like that. Like,
It's really bad.
that's the amazing thing about the
The
amazing
amazing thing.
yeah, is that it's so they're both of them. The second one especially.
Both of them are really bad. It's that the second one I feel like is more it's more obvious. Like the flaws feel more extended. The first movie. Oh, Spazzy's really quiet. I gotta fix Spazzy. Oh, I
No.
can't fix Spazzy. You have to fix yourself.
How do I do that? I
Uh,
asked you this before we got on too. I would have fucked around with this.
I don't know. It sounded fine to me, but then again, I have like 30 different volume knobs here, so I'm.
It's these new headphones I have are fucking awful. Like, dude, somebody Wolfman and I did our adaptation fixation
I gotta get you like an Antlion mod mic or something.
for Resident Evil and for
Oh
Resident
God.
Evil.
Oh God.
We did it for Welcome to Raccoon City and for
The original.
the original.
Mm.
You know what I didn't know, and I guess people that watch adaptation fixation will know this. I didn't realize the story behind the original Resident Evil. I guess I never really cared to look into it.
Okay. Well, before we do that, let's fix your audio. Let's get that one squared away, Chief. Let me lower mine as well while I'm at it, just to.
Okay, let me see.
Oh. Oh. Am I quieter now? Am I quieter now, gamers? Am I quieter now? That's not the right knob. What the fuck? What the fuck? What the fuck? Wait. Here we go. Alright, cool. Epic Fortnite Battle Royale. I'm a little quieter. Now Spazzy has to get a little louder.
My input volume is all the way up.
Oh. Well,
That's
gang.
nice.
Yeah, you
I could
really...
switch. I could switch to my webcam mic. Here, let me actually try something else. One
Oh
second.
my god. Remember that donation links are in the link description below. So we can send Spazzy a I don't know, like a $40 Razer USB mic or something that he can just kind of he can just kind of set it and forget it. Oh man.
Any better?
Oh my god. That it seemingly better. It just sounds like you're now in a room.
Yeah, because that's my webcam.
Yeah.
It's my webcam mic. It's a much better mic.
Bit. Okay.
Much better mic. The only problem is
chat. Chat, let us know before we continue. Please let us know if this is who needs to be louder and who needs to be quieter. Thank you very much.
The problem with the webcam mic now is like if I move in my chair, you're gonna hear it. Like, you know.
The old classic. Well, wait, isn't that what Discord noise suppression is for?
Yes.
Well, turn that shit on, bud.
I don't know if it's in browser, and I switched to browser to see if that would fix it.
Oh, why? Well, it should be in browser.
Is it in browser? Let me see.
I mean, it's just right. It'll be right next to disconnect. That'd be funny if you click disconnect. He sounds better with a soft echo. Spazzy is better. Okay, cool.
Okay, that's fine.
Spazzy, just don't fuck with it. Just leave it alone.
I was about to go back into the actual desktop.
Yeah,
just fuck it. Yeah.
Fucking don't touch a goddamn thing.
We already dropped our 3 F-bomb limit, which I decided is a thing right now that we've never had before.
We got a curse jar now. That'd be cool if we had a curse jar, and then at the end of every Good Morning Source Gaming, we have to raffle it off to one of the viewers. So they just get like $10 or something.
So the story of the first Resident Evil movie.
Go for it.
Capcom was like, and I appreciate this because it shows how different they are from Nintendo. Nintendo's all like, ooh, that Super Mario movie. Capcom's like, that Street Fighter movie did pretty good, right? People like that one. Let's do another one. So a couple years later, they're like, yeah, Resident Evil, let's do it. And they actually had George Romero write the script. And George Romero wrote like 4 or 5 different versions of that script, which I knew about.
Well, didn't he make the RE2 commercial? Yeah. They were. I mean, like, Capcom and Romero have like a really weird relationship because like RE2 is absolutely inspired by the Of the Dead games, along with like Assault on Precinct 13, and then they had that whole kerfluffle about Dead Rising, which is really funny.
I had this conversation too.
Is that the only video game with like a copyright warning on the cover?
Probably not.
I think it might be.
Yeah. I had this. You know, by the way, I saw a tweet yesterday, and I don't know if you can think of any games like this. You know the X-Men games for the Sega Genesis?
Yes.
You know how the second one just drops you directly into the game, like missile in the face immediately?
Yeah.
Can you think of any other game that doesn't have doesn't have like any sort of cold open or credits or anything? It's just boom, game.
Ooh, that's a good question. I feel like there's a bunch. I just can't
think of them.
Yeah, I just can't think of one immediately. It shows how much of a gamer I am. No, I mean, like, Breath of the Wild technically doesn't really have, like, it doesn't go to the menu. It just goes into the video game. But there's, there's, like, an intro, so I don't know. But isn't Isn't the X-Men 2 like dropping you right into the game? Isn't that like part of like a weird? It's been so long since I played it, but I remember there's like the progression thing where you have to restart the console at one point to
No,
continue.
that's the
That's
first
for the
game.
first one. Oh, well
Yeah,
then
yeah,
fucking.
yeah. It's just weird. It's like a. I feel like it's a great way to drop you in the game. And then after the first level, there's like a little title screen.
Patrick's right. Sonic Colors.
Hmm,
That just goes right into it.
nice. Good call.
Hmm.
But yeah. So, anyways, George Romero, whatever. They're like, these scripts are too good, too good. We're gonna have to throw them out. They're not gonna. They're not gonna capture the general audience.
Which is so
But
weird because the whole time you're watching the Resident Evil movies, you're like, God damn, couldn't they just make a fucking generic zombie movie? Like,
yeah, like Wolfman described the first movie as like an hour and a half music video with no music.
yeah, that's like really apt, honestly. That's like on the nose.
But this is what I didn't realize. So Paul W.S. Anderson likes the Resident Evil games.
Okay,
You wouldn't know that by watching the movies, but he does.
yeah.
So apparently, I don't remember what the name is because Wolfman had the name. He wrote a script that he was saying at the time is like it was just a ripoff of Resident Evil. And I was making it for this other project, and he's like, and I was ready to film, and I had everything.
Yeah.
And then like they contacted me, and they're all like, "Hey, this is basically Resident Evil. We want to make a movie, and the Romero script isn't working. This seems like it'd like really resonate um, with the general audience." He's like, "Okay, so that script wasn't written as a Resident Evil script, but it was written as a ripoff of Resident Evil, and then he just retrofitted it to be Resident Evil, which makes sense because that movie has nothing to do with Resident Evil."
Yeah, it's like, no.
What's kind of funny is, and this is another thing I said on the podcast, is if
Yeah.
you kind of like squint a little bit and look at it sideways, it almost kind of works. And only the first movie. After that, it goes off the rails. The
Yeah.
first movie almost works is kind of like a sidequel prequel to Resident Evil because they explicitly are not in Raccoon City. It's another Umbrella.
Yeah, they just like Alice is like a character in the Resident Evil canon while all these
Exactly.
Resident Evil things are happening. I remember like
And her boyfriend or husband or fellow spy or whatever it is actually ends up being Nemesis. So it's kind of like, oh, this is the origin story of Nemesis and it has nothing to do with the mainline games except for that. But then they, did weird shit.
I was gonna say this might be like a weird bad take, but I also like I don't like any of these movies. But I think the second one is my favorite. But it's also been like a decade since I've watched all of them. I just remember the second one being such a mishmash of like 30 different things that it's the only one that's like memorable.
That one's memorable just because I went on a date with some girl to go see it.
That's so cool. That's so cool, Spazzy.
Yeah, I knew a girl once, and she went on a date with me.
You leaned over and you were like, "That's Nemesis."
This girl was very on top of the Resident Evil canon.
Nice.
Yes. Her AOL Instant Messenger
Oh my
name
god.
was Shadow Link 83. So
oh my god.
Sometimes I wonder if it's Matt's mom.
Oh my god. Well, we can't check in with him because unfortunately he has the COVID. Yeah.
It's the Rona.
He's sick this week. Everyone go on Twitter and send a Shadow Link. A Shadow Life. That's a cool fucking name. Everyone should send a Shadow Link your thoughts and prayers and your diligent wishes.
Remember when YouTube tried to pretend there wasn't a pandemic and they're like, you are not going to say that word on YouTube.
Oh yeah, if you said like pandemic in the first like 30 seconds of the video, they were like, oh no, don't do that. Because they just figured like you were about to go into a rant about like masks or something. It's like not the case. So wow, that's pretty epic. What have we played this week? other than watching Fraggle Rock on Apple TV. Do you just want to talk about Fraggle Rock on Apple TV Plus?
I haven't watched it yet.
Oh, fuck.
I don't want any spoilers, Colin.
Oh, shit.
The thing that I did hear about it is that it's kind of a hard reboot, which is funny because we're not used to that anymore because we're used to the the Ghostbusters Afterlife where like the
passing of the torch.
Yeah, like that's what people want.
Well, it's interesting because it's a hard reboot, but they do bring back a couple of the original voice actors. Not all of them, because death or the Disney Corporation. But
I'm glad because if it's a hard reboot, because if it wasn't, then I'd have questions about the nature of Sprocket the dog and if he's some sort of immortal being. But
I watched the first episode and it's really cute. I didn't watch any more because Fraggle Rock is a show for literal like toddlers,
children. Yeah.
But it's cute. Like it's
the production value is so good.
It's good.
It has so much more of the spirit of the original production than like the Muppets or even like modern day Sesame Street. Like every time I catch a little bit of it, I don't know. But there's just something about it. There's like that certain Henson magic,
They actually built like a real like physical set, unlike something like that fucking Muppets Haunted Mansion thing, where the whole thing is just green screen. It just looks awful.
God, that Haunted Mansion was like. First of all, it's another example of that Disney corporate synergy thing that they do constantly now. Where they're like, I don't know, let's have the Simpsons be Thor, whatever. Who cares? It's like they have like a wheel, right? That they spin with all of their IP on it, and they're all like, "And the Simpsons Die Hard special, let's go,"
It sucks too because I don't even think the concept is a bad concept. Like the Muppets going into the Haunted Mansion is a cool idea. It's just that
for sure.
The execution is this like lifeless, soulless trite. Is the best way to put it. Thank you.
Like you watch something like the Muppets Christmas Carol, right?
Yeah.
And there's no reason you can't do a Halloween special that captures that sort of energy, right?
I mean, I would say even like Muppets Treasure Island, it just has like a very like endearing aesthetic to it. Like they just,
and I don't know why Disney is struggling so much. And I mean, like you can say all you want about soulless cash grab, blah blah blah, killing an IP, but if you get the right creatives on it, none of that matters. Like, and I guess the Muppets are just something that they don't care to get the right creatives on.
That's why it's like weird because you would assume like Fraggle Rock and these new Muppets things are being done by the same people because
Independent Studio is still an independent thing. Yeah,
that's how it's always been. But I guess not. Let's find out. Let's go on. Let's hold hands and go on IMDb together.
And, you and I are both staunch defenders of that sitcom-style Muppet show that came out a little while
back.
Of
that ABC show. Hell yeah.
It was actually really good, but
it is good.
People had issues with, I don't know if it was because of the Office-style format or, I don't know, Kermit just seems mean or whatever it is, but...
I know there was that bullshit drama about Miss Piggy, which I don't...
Yeah.
Dude, one of the people who worked on this show, their last name is Cummer. That's badass. That's cool. Series directed by, let's see, let's look at all these names and see what else they've done. Well, this guy did The Benchwarmers 2. Okay. What? And 3 episodes of the... Oh, okay. Well, let's see what the next person did. Paul Fox. He did Schitt's Creek. Okay. That's apparently it. Gotcha. I'm seeing no crossover with other Muppet stuff. I guess that's a good thing. It's like,
yeah. Considering, right?
Then you're not like, oh, it's not that fucking guy who made Muppets Now and the Haunted Mansion special. Yeah, none of these are all like all these like director credits. These are all just like people who make. We have like the producer of the fucking Kim Possible live action movie and also the Dead Rising movie.
Where's the Dead Rising movie?
The Dead Rising Watchtower. I believe it's a Crackle exclusive.
Oh man, I have something new to watch for that podcast.
And then, we also have the director of the Kim Possible live action movie.
I feel like Dead Rising would make a really good movie, even though we're so far past all of the zombie stuff. And I know we were just talking about, the drama with it and the Dead series and, zombies in a mall, isn't that creative? But, like, I feel like Dead Rising is so tongue-in-cheek and basically a parody that it could work as its own thing.
I think you just need, like, I don't know, you just need to make a decent zombie movie. That's like, it's so weird how a lot of these, how much modern zombie media, this is such a dumb-ass sentence, but, like, it's so weird how much, like, modern zombie media feels, like, really uncharismatic and really bland. It feels like they're not really going for anything in particular. Have you seen, like, not any episodes, but have you seen, like, the trailers for, Sci-Fi's Dawn of the Dead, like, not Dawn of the Dead, Day of the Dead series?
Oh, I haven't.
And it's supposed to be, like, this loving, it's like, oh, this is a loving tribute to the work of George Romero, and yet it just looks like a epic movie parody of, like, The Walking Dead.
Like, I don't know, like,
and it's like, what?
Pretty simple.
And it's like
you either use them as a backdrop for something completely unrelated and just kind of work them in.
Yeah.
Or you use them as kind of a metaphor for kind of modern consumerism, blah blah blah, that sort of thing. Or you just use them as an example of kind of this existential dread, right? Where you're like, I don't want to turn into this thing that once again only consumes. Like that, but I feel like they're very simple monsters. There's not too much to them. Just
nah, dude. But we gotta be heckin' epic and have like swear words.
Yeah, those World War Z. Zombies
I posted
zombies on top of zombies.
I posted a trailer for this Day of the Dead. Just like skim it. Like The
Last of Us. The Last of Us is gonna have a TV show. I forgot about that.
Oh my god, The Walking Dead did to zombie movies, TV. What Last of Us did to zombie games. I don't even think that's necessarily true. I feel like Left 4 Dead had a bigger mark on zombie games as a whole, because like the whole like zombie portion of The Last of Us is like not even there. It's kind of funny. I feel like that game has more shootouts with humans than zombies.
A lot more.
I mean, like obviously, but because it's about, are we the monsters?
Yeah.
I don't know, because now everyone's just trying to make a Left 4 Dead clone.
What is the point of this TV series?
I don't know, and it looks really bad. It looks embarrassingly bad. It looks like it has nothing. I don't know why it's called Day of the Dead. It has nothing to do with Day of the Dead. They're not even in like a military bunker. What's the point?
Okay. How about when The Walking Dead actually finishes? Although there's like 3 spin-offs, aren't there?
Yeah.
I was gonna say let's chill. It's a little.
I saw a trailer for the
like 10 years. Let's give it 10 years.
I saw a trailer for the Walking Dead show, and I'm like, is this still not over? I thought, what the fucking final season thing? Like, are they still going? And they're on final season part 2 of 3. Stop that. Stop doing that.
We need a little moratorium on zombies. Just give it like at least 5 years, like a little breather, right? So that we can
Yeah.
just not do any. Let's make like an agreement where we're not going to do any zombie stuff for a while. So then we'll be excited when it comes back. Hey, remember zombies?
I almost
Is it
stopped.
is it time for sexy vampires to come back yet?
Oh
I
Jesus.
feel like we're ready for sexy vampires.
I feel like there's a lot of people who would be on board for sexy vampires.
I'm always on board for
Um,
sexy vampires.
yeah, I'm sure. But it's actually funny. Right before I had to stop myself because I was gonna make a comparison between The Last of Us and fucking Aliens, Colonial Marines, because you spend most of that game like shooting at Wayland Industry dudes and not aliens. Like this Aliens game doesn't really hold up when you're just fighting other dudes who also have pulse rifles. Like it doesn't really.
I really want a survival horror game during a kaiju attack. Wasn't there a game on PS4 that was
There
kind of like that?
was City Shrouded in
Yeah.
Shadows, and
Was that
here's
any good?
I've heard it's a solid 4 out of 10. But the thing is, and this is crazy. Oh man, this is getting into like me territory. So you know Disaster Report?
Yes.
So the original Disaster Report, like the original 3 games were made by IREM. You remember IREM?
Yeah, man. R-Type, right? Weren't they the
Yep.
original R-Type people? Yeah.
So so Disaster Report 4 is not like the new one is not by IREM. It was started by IREM and then the rights were sold off and now it's like some other company making absolute garbage. But City Shrouded in Shadow, even though it's a Bandai Namco game, the developers on it are actually like the original Disaster Report team. They just got like IREM just got like folded into Bandai Namco.
I like how if I look up Irem, the first thing that comes up is just a whole bunch of stuff on Dino City for the Super Nintendo. I don't know
Hell
why,
yeah.
but yeah, hell yeah, man. That was a game that had. I really enjoy the 16-bit era, really the 8-bit era, all the way to the 32-bit era, where not as much. Like I feel like it peaked in the 16-bit era, where the cover of the game really had nothing to do with the game, and you're like, this game looks cool, and then you're all like, wait.
I'm like genuinely bummed. I really need like Push or someone who's like fluent in Japanese to sit down with me and like stream this game with me because I've been wanting to play. I have a copy of City Shrouded in Shadow. I've just never played it because I don't speak the language and it's never been it's never been localized. But goddamn, this game is so fucking cool. It's got Ultraman and Godzilla and Evangelion units.
Yeah, it sounds cool. Like if somebody said we need a Jurassic Park survival game, I feel like that would be okay too. But isn't that also kind of that Capcom series? What was it called? Dino Crisis or something? What's that? The Resident Evil engine game. What game was that called?
What are you talking about? I'm sorry, I'm reading Wikizilla. What was the?
Dino Crisis. Yeah, that's the name of the game.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Man,
they have trivia on this Wikizilla page for City Shrouded in Shadow, and these are some fun facts. This is the second game published by Bandai Namco to utilize the license to the Godzilla franchise after 2014's Godzilla, not counting the Tokyo Martial Law expansion to the Ace Combat Infinity game.
Nice. But like, I feel like when you think of a good survival horror kaiju game, like I'm not even looking at a Japanese property. I think the thing that comes to mind is that first Cloverfield movie.
Yeah.
Right? Where you're like boots on the ground and all this stuff is happening and then these, smaller monsters attacking you.
Well,
I think something like that.
The whole gimmick
really
of the whole
that would
gimmick
be a good VR game too, actually.
It would. The whole gimmick of this game is that it's literally just a disaster report game, but there's no earthquake,
Monsters.
there's just monsters, which is like a really novel concept. City Shrouded in Shadow is the second video game to officially feature both Godzilla and Ultraman after Battle Soccer Champion of the Field, and the first to feature Gamera alongside either character. These are some fun facts. This game is one of few games to feature a kaiju incursion from a human perspective. Good use of the word incursion in that sentence.
I agree.
Along with Godzilla 2, War of the Monsters, and Gamera, oh god, I'm not gonna say that word. Gyaos? Destruction Strategy. Interesting. Oh, and it's part of these are both, well, I knew Godzilla 2 was a Super Nintendo game. I didn't know this other thing was a Super Nintendo game.
I kind of miss that time, going back once again to that like 16-bit era, where a company would get a license and then just do whatever the hell they want with it. They're like, I don't know, man, let's do like an SRPG with Godzilla, whatever.
Yeah.
It's gonna be like Advance Wars, but with Godzilla, you know? Why not?
I guess like it'd be like Famicom Wars.
Yeah, because at the time, you're right.
Yeah.
You're right. You're right. And you're right. So what have you been playing? I was playing Brain versus Brain Academy. Brain. Because I had to do a review. It's a dog. That's the problem with not having the noise suppression on. Also with having a dog.
Turn your dog off. Just flip the switch.
If it was a baby though, I'd probably have to go do something. So at least it's not a baby. Now I can just kind of ignore it. I guess you can ignore the babies, but that's not suggested.
Yeah, don't do that. Don't ignore your baby. Just like some friendly source gaming advice. Don't ignore your baby.
Your baby, yeah.
I'm gonna tweet that out from the official account. You should probably do something about your dog though, because Jesus H Christ.
Well, there's probably people on the golf course in the back, and he doesn't like that. Unfortunately, it's a golf course, so there's people golfing at it.
Dude, you gotta take care of your dog, man.
I'm gonna do it. You're gonna have to sit here and entertain the masses by your lonesome.
Yeah, just I'm gonna server mute you. Jesus H Christ. Good fucking Lord. I guess I'll just briefly talk about what I've been playing, because like there's gonna be like no recourse on this shit. What have I been playing? A lot of Tetris Effect, as per usual. I'm always playing Tetris Effect. I'm not playing Wordle. That's I can get that one out of the way. I'm one of the lucky few, I guess. I was playing a bit of Forza. Let me check on Spazzy. Are we? Hang on. There we go. Hey, you good? Okay. Played a bit of Forza Horizon 5 at a friend's house. Could hear the dog better than Spazzy. That is true. Jesus Christ. Yeah, I played a bit of Forza 5 at a friend's house, and that was fun. We were doing like the time trial modes in first person, and whenever you rewind in that mode, I feel like that's what backwards long jumping in real life would look like. Which is like a very oddly specific thing, but it's, you know. Spazzy.
Hey, what up?
Have you played Forza Horizon 5?
I don't play many of the racing games that are realistic. It's just not my bag.
Oh, okay. What did you play this week?
What did I play this week?
Yeah.
I told you, Brain versus Brain versus Brain.
That is true. You did say that, but like, did you play more than one video game?
One's about my Max, man. I played some more of the Guardians of the Galaxy game, which I like. I just haven't had a lot of time for.
Yeah, I have that rented, but I never. I like Master of Hamster's comment in the chat. The dog knows how to enunciate. That's really good. He's been taking some elocution lessons. He's very posh. Bork.
He is better at this than I am, that is for sure. What else have I been playing? I played a little Celeste. So Celeste is a game that ever since it came out, every couple weeks I play like 1 or 2 levels, and one day I'm gonna beat it.
Is it an underrated gem? As
It is not. It is not underrated at all. Not even a little bit. People can't stop talking about that game, Colin. I don't know what you're talking about. Oh, I did play Flight Simulator. I did play Flight
cool.
Simulator.
You played it on the Series S.
Yeah, man.
Mm-hmm.
It is. I mean, if you like planes, it's a game for people that like to learn how to fly planes. I bought a Series S for my dad because he used to have a pilot's license and he just likes that, but he can't figure out about him some sort of like flight stick, like a Thrustmaster, which is a great name, and he can't figure it out at all. So I literally took his Xbox and the flight stick, and I'm trying to figure it out so I can explain it to him, which is super fun.
Oh, you know what? I just realized something. Since we're talking about the Activision Microsoft deal today, are we formally lifting the ban on talking about Activision games that we set for ourselves, that we surprisingly committed really well to, like for however long it's been?
Right, I had to get rid of my weekly World of Warcraft podcast, which isn't a thing, but could have been. You guys don't know. You guys don't follow me on anything except for this. So
Vanguard is a video game that exists, and I've played it. That's all I've got. That's really.
You know what we should do?
Yeah.
We should do a live fantasy draft of just Blizzard IP, not Blizzard, Microsoft IP, for no real reason. I just think it's fun. I just want to pick games.
I feel like that's like everything we do. It's just like, what if we speculated on this thing for just why not?
I mean, we're gonna do a Microsoft Smash roster, right? Like, not you,
but, not me.
I mean, the site at some point we're gonna talk about that, right? And be like,
yeah, you get like Rogers Base and Fatal on there, and you're good.
Yeah, we're good. Is Wizards and Warriors owned by Microsoft?
Oh God, I don't fucking know.
That's the most important game in the existence of all games.
You can't just like whip out a fucking random NES game and expect me to like know the rights off the top of my head.
Well, here's the thing: it was developed by Rare. The music was by David Weiss. It's like
I know what Wizards and Warriors is, but I don't know the lineage of every video game.
No, I'm just saying, like, it has so many. But it was published by Acclaim. Acclaim doesn't really exist. So
no, they do not exist anymore.
So who owns the? But I guess because they don't. But it was. I guess it was developed by Rare and Acclaim. I wonder if it defaulted to Rare, which means Microsoft would own Wizards and Warriors. Why wouldn't they be making that? That's
There should be a GMSG Fantasy Critic League. I feel like that's everyone who watches Good Morning Source Gaming.
I'm trying to see who bought all of the IP. I mean, maybe we can buy Wizards and Warriors. I don't know.
Oh my god. I don't know. I know. Like Acclaim is like weird because it went to like all these different companies.
Yeah, I'm looking
all
at
different
that right
licenses. Now. Yeah, because like a bunch of shit was bought up by Crave Entertainment, and then a bunch of stuff was bought by Throwback Entertainment, and then a bunch of stuff was bought by We Go Interactive, and then the Acclaim brand itself was bought by Collector Vision, which I'm pretty sure Collector Vision is a YouTuber. Like, wait a minute, what's that guy's fucking name? Do you know what I'm talking about?
No, not even a little bit.
I don't know what I'm talking about. No, there's like a retro gaming YouTuber who started his own like publisher, and he started buying their. There was like a rumor a while ago that he somehow convinced Konami to give him the rights to Snatcher, and then nothing happened with that. So who knows if that's even true? Probably not. And then in 2018, Liquid Media Group. I can't believe Liquid purchased 65 Acclaim titles.
What are other big IP besides Wizard and Warriors they might own? Pitfall?
BMX, Triple X.
A friend of mine made... by the way, David Crane designed Pitfall. I forgot about that. I forgot it was a David Crane game. I always think... You always think of, David Crane with a boy in his blob, I feel
the
like.
legend.
Because, because he put it in his name. But yeah, and of course his amazing tennis. No relation, by the way.
Yeah.
No relation.
No relation. You know what though? You know what though, Spazzy?
What?
I really like Pitfall 2.
I like all of the Pitfall games. There's not a bad Pitfall game. Even the NES game that is bad isn't bad.
Oh yeah, Super Pitfall.
Yeah, Super Pitfall. Like I don't know. I feel like Super Pitfall falls into those category of NES games where it's like, what the hell am I supposed to do? What's going on? It's kind of fun though, I guess.
Oh, dude, what the fuck? Hang on. How have I never heard of this? Crane, along with Gary Kitchen and his brother Dan, founded Audacity Games in November 2020 to develop Atari 2600 games to be played on retro consoles. They plan to release these games as both physical copies along with digital versions that are emulator-friendly. The first title, Circus Convoy, a collaboration between Crane and Gary Kitchen, went on sale March 13th, 2021. How have I not heard of this? Are they selling them on Atari Age or something?
They're part of the new television.
Oh God! Oh Jesus! No.
It sucks because not only was I excited for that, but like I think conceptually it's really cool, the idea behind the Amico.
Man, if y'all are ever having a slow day, go on Atari Age and look at all of like the homebrew stuff that they're selling like physical copies of. It's cool as shit. Here, Spazzy, let me link a couple cool examples in our private little chat that you can look at.
Soul of the Beast.
It's fucking cool. Some of these screenshots are raw, especially Unholy. That game looks cool. I'm gonna put Unholy in the text chat. That game looks fucking cool.
That game actually does look really cool. I like Soul of the Beast.
Yeah, Soul of the Beast looks really neato too. I'll put that in chat as well. I love this shit.
So yeah, I guess our ban on Activision Blizzard is lifted because we think Bobby might not be long for it.
Yeah.
Although I have heard things that Kotek was planning on stepping down in 2023 anyways, but figured, but he
got a way out.
He found
Ferris game.
Yeah, to cash out. He found a great way to cash out, and that this entire deal, it's not like the Bethesda deal. It was it was kind of fast tracked and done really, really fast and dirty.
Yeah.
But hopefully, I feel like I don't know what the company culture is like in Microsoft, but I feel like it's definitely not as bad as Activision Blizzard. So hopefully, if they just get a couple people in key positions in leadership, it'll
I mean,
right the ship. Maybe not as far as software output goes, but at least as far as creepiness goes.
I mean, it's been reported that that Microsoft also has some the behind the scenes not too good work culture. That couldn't have been said any more eloquently. Sorry, gamers. But yeah, I don't know. But I mean, like, I feel like, I mean, obviously that's the reason why the deal went through. Like, it's hard to ignore. Like, they saw that this company was weakened. Oh, this is like worded so fucking poorly. But that's like basically what Phil Spencer said verbatim. He was like, "Look, they're in a tough position, and so we just fucking bought them." And we're on like day. When did this happen? Monday or Tuesday? It was like really early in the week at like 9 a.m. And the week has not been the same since. It's like just completely, utterly decimated anything else that happened this week. Actually, Spazzy, did you know? Did you know that?
Because of Activision Blizzard is being bought, I'm gonna quote tweet right now. Tweet that this is live with "Stay a while and listen."
Okay.
Because Diablo, right? Am I right?
Yeah. Did you know that the two biggest acquisitions in gaming history happened in the past week?
Yeah, because of Take-Two, right?
Yep. You have
They bought
Microsoft buying Activision for 70 billion or 68 billion, depending on who you ask, and Take-Two bought Zynga for 12 billion.
People don't understand.
It's a bit of a jump. That's
yeah.
Like,
but it's interesting. It's interesting because I guess we'll go ahead and just start talking about our thoughts on the acquisition and all.
Yeah, we might as well.
Sort of doing that now. It's interesting because I've seen so many people be like, "Oh my God, they only paid what is it, like $7 million or whatever for ZeniMax and Bethesda, right?" And then they compare it. They're all like, oh my gosh, Disney only spent like $3 billion on Marvel, and we only spent $7 billion on Star Wars. And I'm like, yeah, but Disney
very
spent
different.
More,
yeah,
but Disney spent more on Fox than they spent on Activision Blizzard, and I feel like it's because both of them were done for the same purpose, and that is Disney didn't buy Fox because they're all like, yeah, we're going to make so much money on these Avatar sequels or getting the rights to the X-Men back or, I don't know, having The Simpsons. They bought Fox for the premium and price that they did because it's a content factory with a gigantic backlog. And they needed something to pump up their subscription service and be like, look at how much stuff we have. You want to go watch all the Die Hards and the Alien movies and Buffy the Vampire Slayer and I don't know any of the sitcoms that we've had on Fox for a million years. You want to go watch Married with Children? You can do that because we own it. And I feel like this is the same thing. That it was, first of all, it's because it was an opportunity. This 100% would not have happened if the recent news that came out from Activision Blizzard had come out.
Yeah.
Number one. Number two, Microsoft is definitely like, ooh, we can put all of this stuff on Game Pass. From Guitar Hero to Call of Duty, the day that it launches. No additional cost on Game Pass. Diablo, Game Pass. Like anything, like it's just like a bunch of stuff that they can put on Game Pass right now to make what is already a great value. Like, honestly, like I wasn't a big proponent of Game Pass until I got a Series S and just got it and realized like, oh man, there's so much on there. Like I never, here's a game that I downloaded and started playing, but I haven't really gotten into is Dragon Quest 11. But it's there. Like, why shouldn't I play it? Like, it's a great value, and they're just adding more to it.
I mean, the situation between Bethesda and Activision is very different because Bethesda is like a smaller, like not that they aren't a big company, but like they've primarily made like sleeper hits. Because I mean, like they have like their fair share of runaway successes with like the Fallout games and Elder Scrolls, but like Doom and Wolfenstein and Dishonored, like those games don't, like, they sell well in the long run, but not like they're not making AAA numbers like off the bat.
Like Activision has had.
And then you have Activision, which is just the biggest fucking video game publisher on the planet. Like it's like completely different.
Yeah, like, and it's funny because we are in this circle. We're in our little bubble of
our little Nintendo circle. Yeah.
Fans. Yeah, people are like, oh my gosh, Crash Bandicoot. I'm like, nobody cares about like that's like such an afterthought. Like, because like Activision, like they run things into the ground, but they've had some of like, we talked about Guitar Hero, and I know Guitar Hero is basically a dead franchise, but that was huge.
Yeah,
like they're so good at pumping out these money makers. Like World of Warcraft, dead game, LOL, still makes a ton of money, as does even as Overwatch isn't as big as it was, but it still makes a ton of money comparatively to almost any other team shooter out there. You know, like they have a lot of valuable IP that make a ton of money. Call of Duty is the biggest one.
Yeah.
And Candy Crush. Like that's such a that's so funny, man. Did you see that's how the mainstream news are reporting it?
They're like Call of Duty, Candy Crush, yeah.
Yeah, like like if you read something that's, Forbes Business or whatever, the first thing they talk about is Candy Crush because it's so huge and that's what like a casual audience will recognize. But like, yeah, it's huge, like money making company, and yeah, they do have Crash, and they do have Spyro and Skylanders and all that nonsense. I didn't realize that they own the Sierra IP. I think that's
I've known
very
that.
fascinating.
That's
I didn't know.
Oh, that was a whole thing.
Yeah.
Well, remember when Sierra was a publisher?
Yeah, man. I love that. I love those old Sierra games back in the day. I played anything that had the word Quest in it.
No, but I meant like, remember when like Sierra was publishing like Half-Life 2?
Oh yeah. Yeah, I do remember.
And that's when Activision just kind of slurped them up. Just
yep.
There's so much to talk about with this, and none of it includes like, what if they make a fucking new Crash game? None, because like that's like. There's so much to talk about. I think like the biggest.
Somebody said most of Activision's backlog is licensing deals and such. No, dude. They have so many IP that they're like. We just brought up Sierra. You have King's Quest and Space Quest and all of that stuff. You have Blizzard. You have like games like Blackthorn and Lost Vikings, that Blizzard collection, and then you have Warcraft and Starcraft and so many like, what are you talking about? We're just talking about Crash and Spyro. Like, what licensing? Like, I don't know what they mean by that.
I think they probably just mean a lot of their stuff is either like based on a pre-existing IP or it's stuff they like acquired.
Maybe I need some clarification. Like, but when
I think that's beside the point, though. This whole thing sucks, right? Like, it's not good.
It is not good. But I feel like this is kind of the tipping point. I think, and I don't think it's like it changes the industry. And it's harmful to have so much, not only large IP but studios kind of consolidated into one place. But I feel like there's still enough competition in the Western market that it's not like catastrophic or anything. I just like, if we found out that Microsoft acquired in a couple months, like one of the other big Western first parties, like third party studios, like, which is really, I think we talked about this. Like, what are they like? It's really just right now Epic, Take-Two / Rockstar, EA, and Ubisoft. That's it, right?
Pretty much.
I think we're at a point where it's not like it's not good, but I don't think it's, like I said, going to kill anything in the industry. It just needs to. I mean, stop.
That's not really the. I don't think like the concern is more so like I like, obviously people have like had the monopoly concern from day one. I'm not so much.
He brought up Tony Hawk. The only Activision games that are really based off a license are, I guess, the Guitar Hero stuff and Tony Hawk. I mean, and if you look up Activision Blizzard's largest games, it's not those.
I mean, also you could probably argue technically that like Pro Skater and Guitar Hero were gameplay first and licensing second.
Yeah, exactly.
But no, continuing what I was saying.
Right now, Tony Hawk doesn't really. He's not really much of a celebrity. He's more of a meme. But like the games are more known for being those. It's like John Madden football. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Even though that's a license, it's not that people play it for Madden. They play it because of the gameplay.
As I was saying, like the monopoly concerns have been around since like moment one of this shit, but like that's not so much what worries me. I think what really worries me, um, I mean, right now the thing that just really irks the shit out of me is just that I feel like uh it's so funny because Microsoft has done so much in the last few years to really like improve their image in the gaming circle, and like generally I would say they've done a pretty good job. Like obviously I can't like backwards compatibility and Game Pass and like the stuff they've been doing with like putting games on PC, putting them on Steam, even XCloud is like all good, steps in the right direction. The Series S is weird, but it has its niche. The Series X is like the more powerful of the two, of the two big boy next gen consoles. Like they're doing a lot of good, but I also feel like Microsoft is a company that hasn't really proved themselves yet, if that makes sense.
I mean, they've been around for like 20 years in the video game sphere.
Yeah, but like it feels like it feels like they're still in like Xbox One mode where they're just throwing shit at the wall and saying like, well, let's see if it works. Because they've been doing this like company acquisition thing for like 3 years and we've gotten basically nothing out of it.
I think I mean we all like Phil as a figurehead, right? Like he speaks a good much like Reggie used to do. He speaks a good social media, and we like that as gamers that need to identify with a specific person as a face for a giant company. But I don't know about Xbox's leadership because like their first party output's been really bad, and their newer acquisitions, first of all, we haven't seen anything with Activision Blizzard, but even with like the ZeniMax stuff, like like part of it is that they were already making multi-plat stuff and it hasn't been
I don't want to
been able to focus on any specific things, but it's funny because I mean, this is one strategy. I also don't like, Sony's strategy has been just to throw money for specific exclusives, which I think is also kind of shitty. Like no, just make Final Fantasy for us. I'm like, whatever. That's not it's not as hurtful for the industry, obviously. But like Microsoft, they need a better development pipeline, I guess, because they have so many studios now that like. I thought that the fact that we weren't seeing many first-party Xbox One games was because they were ramping up for the Xbox Series, but then they haven't announced anything yet. Like they announced like a Fable game that hasn't come out.
Well, I want to reply to.
They need a better leadership pipeline,
I want to reply to someone in chat, which is and I'm not like calling this person out, nor am I like refuting what they're saying, but I just want to say something. Thigh Golf, if that's how you pronounce that name. Nice goblin PFP, by the way. I appreciate that. Activision was a toxic as hell workspace, and they put all their workers on COD. I feel like both of those things will improve under Microsoft, making a more friendly and creative workplace. I don't know if I agree with that, because like it's pretty obvious to me the number one reason they bought Activision was so they can get a big cut of that COD money, because COD makes so much fucking money that I don't think much is going to change. I think what will change is maybe we see COD move to every other year instead of every year, and maybe we see developers like Sledgehammer and Toys for Bob do whatever they want. But I don't think anything else is going to change. I would not be surprised, especially because a big issue with Activision isn't just Kotick. It's the project managers on almost everything.
Especially on the Blizzard side.
Yeah, especially on the Blizzard side.
Yeah, yeah.
I
So
like
they need to revamp
like a
leadership
really
for
so
change to
so
happen.
I'm gonna let y'all in on something. I'm gonna let you all in on a little insider information. AK, I mean, like some of this has already been previously available, but I'm gonna. So here's the thing. Here's something that happened over the last couple of years. Modern Warfare came out. That was by Infinity Ward, and then the sequel, or at least the following game, what was supposed to be COD 2020, uh, was going to be a Vietnam game by Sledgehammer. And then in January of 2020, Activision, in a shareholder meeting, went, "Oh yeah, fucking that game sucked. So we're putting Treyarch onto the multiplayer portion, and they're gonna help Sledgehammer make this game." What ended up happening was Treyarch effectively took over the project and turned it into a Black Ops game, and then they fully kicked Sledgehammer off of their own Vietnam game and got Raven to come in to essentially use all their assets to make the Black Ops Cold War single player campaign in about 7 months, which is not great. And then the next, so with Sledgehammer doing nothing, Activision went to them and said, "Well, time to make a sequel to World War II in a year." And now they're blaming Vanguard's poor performance for why they sold out to Microsoft, and Kotick is leaving. But it all just sounds like fucking hogwash, because Vanguard is still the best-selling game of last year.
Hey, what's the deal with Vanguard? Because I got it for free, not for free, as part of a bundle when I got my Xbox Series X. And it looks like Fortnite. What's up with that?
No, that's Warzone. That's Warzone. That's
Warzone.
Vanguard is the not is like the video game portion. But like the issue with all this Activision shit, what I'm trying to get at is that the issues with Activision are not just head management. It's like these product managers who also don't know what the fuck they're doing. And I think the fact that they don't seem to recognize the issues, the fact that they think that Vanguard's lesser performance has anything to do with the game and not, months of bad press, so bad they couldn't put the logo for the company in the fucking trailers for the game. The fact they can't recognize this and they're already looking at this as like yeah, well, what we really need right now is a buyout, and also to to maybe reevaluate the Call of Duty franchise. It's just it's so like weird to me. It feels so off base, and I don't say this as like a Call of Duty fan, even though I think those games are fine. I say it because it sounds really back-ass words, and furthermore, Microsoft's been having the same fucking product management issues with their own first-party games. Because you have shit like Halo Infinite and Gears 5 that are launching clearly undercooked. They are not done. But they're being rushed out the door.
Microsoft needs some leadership in place for
like none of these games, like Vanguard and Black Ops Cold War, like Halo Infinite and Gears, like none of these games would have like these like weird issues of being like undercooked or not like totally savvy if these companies actually bothered to, like delay their fucking games and actually give their developers time to work on them. You can't just ask a company to make an entire Call of Duty game in a year. Especially when you specifically years ago moved over to a 3-year cycle. And the thing is that I don't think Microsoft's going to change that, because you hear stories about how like Halo Infinite was in development for 5 years, and then they showed off that demo in 2020, and then they had to redo the whole fucking game in 2021. And now that's why Halo Infinite doesn't have co-op, it doesn't have Forge, it doesn't even have a big team battle, doesn't work right now, and you can't even do custom lobbies. They just break the fucking game. and they're selling that in stores for $60. Like, it's not that Activision on its own was doing good, but like, it just feels like, the big issue with the Microsoft Activision thing is that we're seeing a big company flex its wallet to just outright buy out whatever it wants in the industry, and it's not even gonna do anything different. It feels like things will just stay the same. Because historically, looking at the products of both companies, it seems like upper management doesn't really give a shit. And that's not good.
I agree. I agree. I don't even know what else to say to that, Colin.
Yeah, like it's really dire. Like, it's a really.
But the thing is, I feel like, I don't know. It's there's no control, and you feel like it's kind of the opposite of Nintendo, right? Where you feel like Nintendo has their like fist like tightly wrapped around every studio that's making anything for them.
I mean, like, hang on, don't get me wrong. I understand COVID is fucking things up, but like, everyone else in the industry is delaying their games. I see no reason other than the fact that the Xbox had, other than the fact that Microsoft launched a console knowing that the game lineup for it was going to be absolutely fucking paltry. Other than that, there really is no good reason that Halo Infinite shouldn't have been delayed. Same thing with COD. They could easily break the yearly cycle at any point, and like, the games wouldn't perform worse. It's still Call of Duty. It's still Halo. I mean, Halo Infinite's like, the game is really good. It just sucks that it's like half of a game.
It's funny when you look up when you go to Activision Blizzard's homepage.
Yeah.
The majority of the games they show, it's like Call of Duty, Candy Crush, and then a bunch of Blizzard IP.
Yeah.
I really like Blizzard. Their IP, not their company culture.
Yeah.
And it's very sad to me. What's funny is, I mean, there's a lot of funny things, but now when you look at Microsoft's IP holdings, man, do they have a lot of Western RPG and first-person shooters, especially
they sure
first-person
do.
shooters. Like, a whole lot. Like, and that's the other thing. And even, like, you know, we made a lot of, you know, scribblo jokes about how much, like, platforming mascots they have. And they're one company, and I think part of the problem is when let's just go to the platformers, because that's, you know, what people around these parts like to talk about. When you own Banjo and you own Crash and you own Spyro and et cetera, then you're probably not getting a Blinks the Cat game, even if you do get those three, and you probably won't get those three. Like, you know, when you own so much IP that overlaps in genre, it's hard to feel like you're gonna get games from all of those franchises. And for first-person shooters, it's real bad. Like, they own like so much.
Yeah, they now own basically like every major first person shooter franchise that isn't.
Hey, they own Quake and Hexen now.
Yeah. They own everything that isn't like Battlefield or Duke Nukem, I guess. Like.
Yeah, like, you know, I guess they don't own Borderlands, huh? Borderlands. They will though.
Yeah.
They will, because I don't know. I don't know if that's actually owned by 2K or if that's just a Gearbox that's published by them. Not that they're gonna buy Gearbox, but that's like we have to think now, right? Every time you think about any company, you're like, hey, Microsoft could buy them, right?
So
I think their acquisitions are well, we'll talk about that in a minute. Let's keep talking about the first-person shooters, because they own, like, just with that Bethesda purchase, they own so much. and they already had, Halo. And we were talking about this, how the new Perfect Dark game is going to be some sort of third-person adventure,
it's not
shooter, like open world game, sandbox game. But like, I get that, but at the same time, like, what are you going to do? Just make a first-person shooter out of it? Because they already have, 12 FPS IP that are bigger than Perfect Dark. So why would they?
Yeah, but that's not like Perfect Dark's fault.
Yeah.
Like it's not.
It's not Perfect Dark's fault. It's just that you have to differentiate it from everything else you're doing. Although,
yeah, but that sucks. I don't know. That's just me. But that I don't know. That sucks.
Microsoft should totally rebrand Quake Arena as just like Smash Brothers, but for first-person shooters.
I mean, they have Quake Champions, which is
the Quake Champions. Yeah. But like, they should get it to the next level. Get like Master Chief in there. Get
I mean, that's kind of the other thing. Arrow brings this up. Most of the classic talent who worked on Banjo left the company due to mismanagement under what was the name of the Xbox head before Phil Spencer? Don Matrick. But like, I think
By the way, Arrow, I didn't mean to like yell at you about the license.
Yeah,
thing earlier.
but no, like, I mean, that was just like that's kind of the thing too, is that like people forget that a lot of the people who made all your favorite classic Rare games left. I wouldn't even say because of mismanagement. They left before that. Like, all the GoldenEye and Perfect Dark people left basically as soon as the merger happened so they can make Time Splitters.
Rare is a weird one because Nintendo let them go for a reason. Like,
yeah,
you can't really compare them to anything else. Yeah, I don't know. Like, I feel like Xbox just has these studios and they give them their autonomy because they have so many and they don't have a good leadership structure for it. So they're just like, yeah, do your thing. And then when the games come, we'll release them.
I mean, that is kind of the thing that I guess is nice. I'm sure, because it seems like right now, generally speaking, when it comes to like the companies that are under this like Microsoft's acquisitions, it does feel like they do have a lot of kind of, at least like when it comes to the concept of the game, they get carte blanche.
Yeah.
Because like Bleeding Edge is fucking weird. But like it doesn't. I think the issue is more so that Microsoft's always going to have the final say in regards to how these games should be released and how content should be distributed, and that seems to be the real issue with a lot of these acquisitions. Is you start to have to wonder, are we going to start seeing like Halo Infinite's egregious battle pass in like newer COD games or something? Because I mean, like, a lot of the issues that Halo Infinite has with its like content management and leveling up are issues that were present in Gears 5, and those were issues that were present in Halo 5, and those were issues that were present in Gears 4. So and also the fucking Forza games have this shit too. So it's very like like it doesn't really like feel good. It's just like
I forgot that Activision Blizzard owns Gun. You know the game Gun?
I remember Gun.
Oh man, hopefully we can see Gun make a comeback. I'm looking at some there's Phantasmagoria. There's some really good. There's some really good IP in here, guys. Oh, they own Tenchu? Why do they own Tenchu?
This is like Phil Spencer talking to like the head of Microsoft. He's like, "Oh, there's some great IPs in here," and he's like digging through a bag with like little pieces of paper on it.
Zork, you guys remember Zork? We're making a new Zork.
I remember Zork. It's that Easter egg in Call of Duty Black Ops.
It's funny because Phil brought up like games that I care about. He brought up Hexen and King's Quest. And...
Yeah, but like, of course he would. Like,
but of course he would. It doesn't matter. They're gonna make those games. Yeah, I know.
I got like a bunch of people telling me.
Here's the thing, Colin. Here's what I care about as an IP shill.
Okay.
I don't care that they make these games. I care as somebody that works for a Super Smash Brothers centric website that they make like a bowling game with all of these characters in it, because that sort of stuff is my bag. And I don't know why, but I'm all like, oh man, is Diablo gonna roll a perfect game? That's what I want.
I don't know, man. My
Put
thing
them all
is
in
like,
a game and sell it to me.
I, there's so much that has been said, but it's really hard to like believe any of it. You know, like maybe that's just me being overtly cynical. I'm sure there's like 2 people in the comments who will say that, but it is something else when I'm like, oh, we're just never gonna see Guitar Hero again. And then people are
Yeah,
like,
but
yeah, but
would you have-
Kotick said he had an idea for a new Guitar Hero. And it's like, yeah, he had 2 of those before, and they were both bad. Of course, like, they're not going to do it again.
I'm gonna say this. I think that IP has more of a chance under Microsoft than Activision, because Activision under Kotick had this policy of like they more than any other company, they would run a concept into the ground and then just abandon it. Like I've never seen. Like Guitar Hero is the best example, but Skylanders is another one. This is popular. Let's push as much money as we can into it for like a year or two, and then never talk about it again. And I feel like Microsoft's strategy is different than that. So it depends, you know, how much autonomy they're going to have. But with something as big as Activision, I don't think they will. I don't think it's because they're not like these small studios. It's not even Blizzard. I think is probably going to get more autonomy than these other Activision IP. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, because Blizzard's a big company with a lot of people in it who were already like, you know, there's a lot of competent people under Blizzard. Like the product, you know, these project managers and head honchos were all pieces of shit. But like the people making like Overwatch or, you know, the developers are going to be fine.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, some of them have already taken to Twitter and they've already like you know, they've already pointed out, you know, how fucking Bobby is trying to throw them under the bus and be like, they're taking too long with Overwatch 2, those fucking idiots, like, that's why I'm leaving. And then, you know, they're going, you know, the Overwatch producers are on Twitter like, hey, Bobby, aren't you the one that keeps coming into the office and giving us shit we have to do that ends up not panning out?
And then like, changing what it is we have to do? And then
the game would have been done by now if you weren't you. It's like...
Yeah, I think that things are going to be better when Kotick leaves, regardless of anything else. So I have a list here, and I have no idea. It's from VideoGameChronicle.com. Like, here's a list of potential IP that Xbox owns now.
And I get it. I know that like because we're like a Nintendo thing, that like it looks kind of bad when we bitch about the competition. But I had an Xbox 360 before I had a Wii. I bought the Xbox One day one.
I own an Xbox Series X.
I want to buy a Series X. Yeah, like I there's a lot of things Microsoft does that I genuinely like. I mean, one of the things that this like, look, if they actually do put like, you know, the Activision back catalog on Game Pass, and that doesn't include just last gen, like current last gen stuff. I mean, like, you know, PS1 era shit somehow. Like if they start putting like more, like they better unkill the backwards compatibility, you know, project and just like get.
I look forward to playing Crash 4, which I had never played, and now it's going to be on Game Pass. So shoot.
But yeah, that's the thing is like, I hope they do these things. That's what it feels like. It feels like everything, all the positives feel like something I'm hoping for them to do more so than me actually feeling the satisfaction of like, oh yeah, they're gonna do it. They're not gonna put Guitar Hero on Game Pass. They'd have to like create accessories for that, and even though Microsoft has the capital and clout to release that, they're not gonna fucking do it.
I think there's going to be a lot on Game Pass all of a sudden, like those King's Quest game reboot that came out a couple years ago. A lot of the Blizzard stuff, like I think on like Overwatch, all this stuff is just going to be on there. You know, Call of Duty. So I think it's somebody that has Game Pass, it's going to be good for me.
Oh,
maybe not for the industry.
Don't worry, guy from Windows Central. No one thinks Game Pass is bad. Just to get that out of the way. Did you see that?
No.
This one guy. I gotta read this tweet. It's really funny. Welcome to the petty section of Good Morning Source Gaming.
By the way, speaking of petty, we did this because Phantom said, let's do Good Morning Source Gaming this week, and guess who didn't show up?
Yeah, guess who didn't turn on their alarm? Jesus Christ.
Like, literally, that's why we did. I mean, it's good to do it this week anyways, because of, it's good to do it.
All right, here's the funny quote. When game journalists decry the deal between Xbox and Activision, they're exposing their bias. When you get free games and have a huge editor salary, it's easy to sit in an ivory tower and tell the serfs that $70 per game versus Xbox Game Pass is somehow better for consumers. I think what's really funny about this tweet is that he's complaining about this person that he's complaining about does not exist.
Yeah, no, that's the big example of making up somebody on Twitter and being angry at them.
Yeah, and then he tried to follow this up with do you care about Activision Blizzard staff getting a much needed change in leadership? Yes.
We're afraid
would you prefer Zuckerberg or Bezos? No. Also, that wasn't part of the question. Or do you want to preserve the status quo with Kotick in charge forever? He might as well be. He's getting millions of dollars to leave the company that he ruined. There's no, like...
Yeah, it's not that we don't want these games on Game Pass. It's that having so much of, in particular, these classic West... And that's the thing. These are like these formative Western companies. Like, these are the ones that kind of created everything since the 90s, and if not before, for Western gaming. To have all of this shoved into one company, it makes it difficult for competition. That's the problem with, not to get too much into my economic views here, but with the free market, the problem is that for there to be a true free market, there needs to be an even level field for competition, and there's not when companies start buying other companies. Do you know what I'm saying? Because then you create a company that, even if it's not a monopoly, it's a juggernaut. So it's difficult for other companies that don't have that marketing budget and don't have the vested interest in a platform like this to make Western RPGs and to make. It's kind of like, I feel like the overall quality of Japanese RPGs went down when Square and Enix merged, because you didn't have that competition between these two companies anymore. I just feel like it's not good for the industry to have so much of it controlled by one partner. That has nothing to do with Game Pass. I love Game Pass. I feel like people that are worried about this aren't worried about it because of Game Pass. They're worried about it for a couple of reasons. Like, I'm just worried that one company is not going to have as much quality control for this many IP and these many studios to make sure that enough games come out every year, that are good games. They have a lot of staff, but even a company like Microsoft has finite resources, especially for a specific department like Xbox. So they have to decide which platformer, like I said before, are we going to make? Are we going to make a Banjo game this year? It's like with Disney and Fox, where now, Disney, if you look at the release schedule, so many movies are being pushed out and distributed by Disney that they're eating their own market. And so they have to make less movies, because before, when you had Fox releasing movies, they were competing with Disney. Now they're not. So they're not going to release it within the same window. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So there's overall less movies coming out from these studios.
But it's like, I think the funniest thing about this thread is that he tried to clarify, where he's like, I didn't intend to catch such a wide net, but if you really saw this and said, but I don't earn much, it's not about you. I stand by the point about establishment media moralizing consolidation, ignoring how much access Game Pass delivers. My inner poor kid emotions were mad. And someone else in the comments tried to defend him by saying, a lot of people misunderstood this tweet. He isn't talking about the average gamer journalist, but the ones who are paid to write things off, like the high price for a game is better than Game Pass. Those are the ones that
these journalists?
Yeah, who? Name one. It's because you can't say Jason Schreier because he doesn't review games anymore, and he works for fucking Bloomberg. So who are you talking about? You talking about
Yeah,
Steven Totillo? Like, who the fuck are you talking about?
That there's a reason why something like
Is
gaming
Adam
exists.
Sessler getting paid off to be like Game Pass bad on G4?
There's a reason why so many game reviews and things come out on YouTube videos that are done with these kind of small, private institutions and not like magazines anymore, and not like media outlets, Like I said, there's a reason Game Explained existed in the first place, because the only way somebody that's a quote-unquote game journalist can make a halfway decent living is by going independent and trying to push something through other avenues and like being all like, please go to my Patreon and do this and do that. Because if you try to work for any of these, there's a point in my life where I was thinking about doing it, but talking to everybody that's in, they're like, yeah, man, do you really want to make $30,000 a year and probably be forced to live in New York or LA? And people are like, well, why do you have to do that? You're just writing articles on games. Because that's where all of the expos are. And that's the only thing that like a game journalist has that like a random YouTuber does not, is access to those things.
Yeah, I wish us getting like the occasional Mario Party code meant that we could just be like, oh, why don't you fucking idiots not get Game Pass?
Yeah.
If anything, wouldn't the people who get free codes prefer Game Pass because they're spending less overall? Like, in this, like, totally hypothetical situation where apparently just materialism is key. I don't know, man. These people are fucking nuts. There's it's such a mean thing to say, but there's no other way to put it. Like, that's just like you're drinking the Kool-Aid at that point. Good fucking god. Do we want to talk about Phil's weird threat?
I love it. Like I said, it's like, dude, it sounded like a line from The Godfather. I love it.
I gotta read that quote. It's so fucking funny.
It's like, I trust you wouldn't do anything.
Yeah, as all of you could possibly imagine, Phil Spencer's been doing a lot of
PR.
Yeah, a lot of PR interviews and such over the week. So he's talking up a big game, and obviously, like, it's PR talk. It's hard to read any of this and think that he's like legitimately 100% believing the things he says, but some of them are a little more curious than others. Let me try to find it again. But like verbatim, he basically said something along the lines of like, I don't expect like Nintendo and Sony to damage the game industry or something like that. Oh man, where the fuck? It's like so much happened this week, and yet like trying to find any fucking article is like impossible. From ooh, that looks nice. I'm gonna put that in the Nintendo chat in our server. Links down below. I don't know. Fucking, do you have the article offhand?
No.
Nah, I'll take a look for it. Shit, whatever. Fill the dead air with something, Spazzy. Say something cute.
Okay. So here's a list of IP that can potentially be owned by Xbox following this acquisition. Blur. I don't know what Blur is.
It's a racing game. A pretty alright
one,
too.
Yeah. I remember that.
Yeah, it was like Mario Kart, but with real cars.
Caesar.
Oh,
Caesar.
No.
Call of Duty.
Classic.
Candy Crush.
Classic.
Crash Bandicoot.
I don't know it.
Diablo.
That's a mobile game, right?
Oh yeah. As long as you got your cell phone, you should be set.
Yeah.
DJ Hero.
I remember looking forward to that on the 3DS, but then it didn't happen.
Empire Earth.
the fucking Scientology movie?
Nah, it's like an old Sierra RTS game. They also own every RTS. Oh man, maybe Blizzard can make a new Halo War. I'd actually be super down for that. That's the sort of thing you should be looking into. Microsoft.
Okay, I found the quote. Here it is.
Gabriel Knight, which sounds like a person and not a game.
That's an FMV series. Can't believe that's the one unironic answer I have is like, oh, I know what that is.
Geometry Wars.
Hell yeah. Anyway, I gotta read this quote now.
Okay.
When speaking about Sony and Nintendo, I'm reading this from Nintendo Life, by the way. Go kiss them. They have a long history. Should I do the Phil Spencer voice? They have a long history in video games. Nintendo's not going to do anything that damages gaming in the long run because that's the business they're in. Sony is the same and I trust them. Valve's the same way. When we look at other big tech companies, big tech competitors for Microsoft, Google has search in Chrome, Amazon has shopping, Facebook has social, all these large-scale consumer businesses. The discussion we've had internally, where those things are important to those other tech companies for how many consumers they reach, gaming can be that for us. So that was a garbled mess.
Yeah, like, it's such PR speak, but, like, it feels like a veiled threat. Like, Nintendo wouldn't do anything to harm the game industry if they know what's good for them. We are the game industry. Like,
yeah,
that's basically what he was saying.
I mean, it's like intentionally tone deaf because it's not like Phil Spencer doesn't have the self-awareness to know that, like, sure, like, Sony's an entertainment conglomerate and Nintendo's a lot bigger than most people think it is, but, like, none of them are buy Activision for $70 billion big.
Yeah, but I always thought it was so funny. And I guess because people grew up now with Sony, they don't really have that touch point. Yeah. Sony used to be kind of a hardware giant, right?
Yeah, they used to.
That's what put Sony on the map, where their TVs, their portable electronics, like the Walkman and then the Discman, like those were big. They were huge. And so after things fell through with both Nintendo and Sony and Sega and Sony for a partnership, Sony said, screw you guys, we're getting into the industry. And because they were larger, multifaceted companies that didn't just, rely on video games for their money, they had the money to bully their way into the industry, and they had distribution channels set up because of all of their consumer electronics that they already owned. So they were able to, and that's a big reason for the first PlayStation success, is that worldwide it increased the total number of gamers because they had inroads to markets that Nintendo and Sega were never really, trying to get to before. So they used their money to kind of push their way in, and then and that led to a generation later, Microsoft being like, "Ooh, man, now Sony's making all of these inroads. What if people start using their video game boxes to do things like check their email and it kind of cuts into the PC market." So then they bullied their way because they have way more money than Sony. So they just kind of did what Sony did, but on a bigger scale, and it was because of Sony. Which is funny because Sony was, because of Nintendo and Sega. And I just think there's like a nice little symmetry there that I've always kind of appreciated. This has nothing to do with anything we're talking about, but I just felt like saying it.
Oh, also Phantom's awake.
Oh, cool. Can Phantom get on? That would be nice.
I'll ask. Get in?
I need to go run and do something. That way you can talk for a minute.
Okay. Jesus Christ. I mean, we only got like
a half an hour left.
Not even 20 minutes. Yeah.
It's fine. Yeah, it is. It does seem very tone deaf. They want Xbox to be synonymous with gaming. They want Xbox as a service. That's honestly what they're doing. Xbox is a service now. It's not hardware. So if they can put
Yeah,
Game
like
Pass on Nintendo and PlayStation, they
it's kind of I feel like that's what makes all the PR speak weird, because it's not like I feel like armchair analysts, like in regards to Microsoft, like it's not like Nintendo where we just like we literally have no idea what they're doing at any given moment, and they could just pull a fast one on us. Even Sony's kind of that way. Like, but like Microsoft is like, it's really apparent what their strategy is. Like it's super obvious. Like they're not. I don't like who are they fooling? And it's not even like their strategy is like a bad thing. It's just like it's weird when they do put up like the big kind of PR talk, which I mean they have to, but it's weird when they do it, and it's like, no, I like we all know why this happened, like why you did this. You could just say it, and everyone would just be like, yeah, I mean,
yeah, like Microsoft isn't in the they're barely in the same business as Nintendo. Like it's weird.
Yeah,
they want their platform to be bigger. Like they're definitely like gaming as a service. I hope they add the World of Warcraft subscription to Game Pass. I would totally start playing World of Warcraft again.
like
See, that's the stuff that
perk.
Yeah, that's as a consumer and just as a general consumer, not somebody that's looking at the bigger picture of the industry. The thing that I think I like about this purchase is that a lot more things can be added to Game Pass, and I have Game Pass. So I think that's the sort of stuff that you're actually going to see more than like, oh, they're going to make a new Crash game now. I mean, who knows? I feel like Microsoft at least is very good with their optics, you know, and their social media presence and things like that. But I don't know how output for these IP are going to change. But I do expect to see more of their older games on Game Pass and to see more perks and day one games on Game Pass. So,
but Spazzy, we're ivory tower game journalists who exist, and
apparently
we think Game Pass is bad.
It's true.
I don't know, man. That like in a week full of bad takes, I think that one really
is the worst.
Yeah, that one is just like it's completely unfounded and like not based on anything.
I'm just happy that Warcraft and StarCraft are now owned by the same people that own Minecraft. That makes me happy.
Yeah,
that's good. It's good. They own all of the crafts. They own all the quests. They own all of it, man. Okay, so let's move on to who do we think Microsoft is buying next?
Oh God. Okay, Jeff.
I think that if they purchase another company, it would make sense for it to be a Japanese developer to make inroads into that market. So I think if we see something else within the next year or two, it's going to be that. Especially because all of these Japanese companies are worth at most like 10 billion. You know what I mean? Like they could pick up Capcom for like, it wouldn't. I don't think Capcom's going to be someone that would be willing to sell. But I'm just saying, like, as far as market cap goes, like I think what, like 10 or 12 like billion. They're not a lot.
Did you see that? Did you see that Jeff tweet where he's
I did. I did. It's so funny.
Where he's like, these are what all of these other companies are worth that Microsoft could buy. It's like, what the fuck is wrong with you, Jeff?
Why are you rooting for this?
I'm not one for acquisitions, but please God, someone acquire Konami. But this is like the thing we've been talking about though, is like
Konami is doing better than like Sega.
No, it's not that. It's more to do with I really don't like this idea that acquisitions are saving these companies or saving these IPs. Like, no, it's like very rarely the case, if at all.
Well, I feel like Disney acquiring Fox saved the X-Men movies because they stopped making them, and I think that was very important.
Well, they couldn't save Dark Phoenix. Boom, boom, boom.
Do you watch that one?
God, no.
It is real bad.
Yeah, I've heard.
Yeah, and you know, A, I like cape shit, and B, I like cape shit to the point where I'm not like, hey, man, you know, Age of Apocalypse wasn't like total dog shit. There were some fun parts, but I can't even like pretend to like anything. Like Dark Fate is so bad,
Yeah.
so bad. I do feel, by the way, that if they acquired somebody, it would be Sega. Like I'm not like I don't mean to push that energy into the universe, but I feel like that's who they would acquire. Because it would cover up all of their, because they have it would also include Atlas. I feel like it would cover up their a lot of adventure games and action games, fighting games, JRPGs, like the stuff that they don't have now. I don't want them to, and I don't particularly think they will. I don't think they're going to acquire anything big in the near future. But if I had to like put money on one like big name studio, I would probably say Sega. Embrace or owners of THQ and Gearbox. That seems like they're not totally huge, but that does seem like a likely option too. If they were to like get kind of a smaller studio. So the thing you have to realize is there's three reasons. There's three reasons for a company like Microsoft to acquire these studios, right? One is for backlog for Game Pass. They own a lot of games and we want to put on Game Pass. Two is for IP for future use. Like, oh man, this one game, destroy all monsters, whatever. I don't care, whatever game it is. This game looks really good. We have ideas for it. And three is for actual studios to make games, right? I don't think Microsoft needs any of those three right now.
I mean, I also generally have to wonder though, if the intention of buying a lot of these companies is also just to have more support studios. I mean, like, this is the thing that I feel like not a lot of people have pointed out. Like, they now own both id Software and the Call of Duty franchise. And Call of Duty's been running on the Quake 3 engine since the beginning of time. Like, what is the likelihood that they're hiring a lot of these companies? They're doing like these big corporate acquisitions because they look at companies like Beanox, who have already been doing a lot of acquisition, like they've already been doing support work on a ton of games, and they look at them and go, oh well, wouldn't it be cool if we had Beanox to help work on like Halo?
Yeah, that's
the thing that I genuinely wonder about. I think that stuff is more likely than just like, oh yeah, Phil's gonna greenlight a new Spyro.
Yeah,
I didn't want to use Crash
like
again. It felt too mean.
Like I said, I live for like dumb crossover stuff. So yeah, give me like a Microsoft card or something. Also, hi Phantom.
Hello, Phantom. Welcome to the last 15 minutes. Yeah.
Yeah. Good morning. How hot? Good morning, Sir Gaming. How hot? That's my bad.
Bro, you gotta like. There's like alarm clocks.
Yo, you keep saying this every time, and every time I keep telling you I have alarm clocks. The problem.
No, not on your phone. Like, just get a physical alarm clock, like a classic one that makes the loud like bah, bah, that one. Like, get one of those.
I already have my phone set to make that noise. What's the point?
Not you gotta get like an actual physical device that will do it for you.
I don't understand why that would make any difference.
So Phantom, while you're here,
yeah, what's up?
What are your thoughts on Microsoft acquiring the world?
It's a mixed bag because a part of me is like, of course, with the recent ongoings of harassment and worker abuse that's been going on in Activision, but it's like, okay, this is a really good chance for things to change around and have Xbox people at Xbox take over management and actually treat their work as well. And of course, part of that mindset would also have to come if I already knew that Xbox Microsoft treat their work as well. But I haven't really heard any sort of like sexual allegations or anything like that ever. I've never heard any news sources come out and say anything about that. So that sounds like a good sign. Of course, there's like crunches is one thing, but like that is already. I don't want to say that's something that is like that should be a default, but it kind of is the default, where it's like less like, oh, we're actively intentionally abusing our workers, or employees are abusing one another. On the other hand, though, part of me is like, I didn't read that article that was posted in the video games channel. That was saying that it's not a monopoly. So I wish I would I did so that I could understand really if it is a monopoly or not. But it kind of feels like a pathway to a monopoly because it just feels like Xbox owning that
it's
much.
not a monopoly on anything
crazy.
except for maybe first-person shooters.
I guess,
Because,
yeah.
Yeah, like they do own a lot. That's the thing. Like it's not quite a monopoly, but
Right.
the
And I
path
think also,
to big Western IP goes through Microsoft now.
and I wonder if like I'm not sure how this would go in like a legal standard, but like of course there's like a whole bunch of competition still that like any studio could even wanted to make if they wanted to could start making their own first person shooters just out of nowhere. But and also competition can easily rise up with of course now you have like indie studios that then also turn out to get really big, almost as not as big as third party, but like they tend to get like either through getting bought out or getting funding.
Yeah,
like,
and then you still have Valve and EA and
right. So there's still a lot of other players in the field because like EA does what Battlefield, right?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So it felt like it at first. In reality, it's not. But it just it's really weird when a studio, of course, like now Xbox is like pretty huge because also they're a first party studio. They make a console, but it still feels very strange when a studio owns that much, and what they own is also like incredibly talented studios as well. Because it's not like they're buying up studios that are just falling, that are having some issues and then aren't doing well. Activision and Blizzard like is like we're doing poorly in like their to their workers and like a little bit with Call of Duty sales. I think it was that I think Crash and Tony Hawk Pro Skating helped like keep them. It helped those games sold where Call of Duty didn't, which is pretty good. But they're still doing overall really
2K,
well.
2K also has first person shooters, as Arrow is saying.
What is
they only own Battlefield and Titanfall. Well, because they own technically the rights to the Mafia games, Borderlands, BioShock. Like there's.
Oh yeah, that's right. Borderlands and BioShock are first person.
Yeah, but you think about it a little differently because they're not the those kind of deathmatch
military style shooters.
Yeah, exactly.
I totally forgot about that. Okay, I mean, yeah, then that's true too.
And Epic Games
also,
Epic Games still has like, do they still make Unreal Tournament? I don't know. No, I feel like Epic Games just makes Fortnite and that's it, right?
They make Fortnite and then they buy other games to publish,
like Fall Guys.
No, like Rumbleverse.
Oh,
that do they do Valorant? Is that them?
No, that's Riot.
Valorant is Riot.
Okay. Yeah, like I said, there are other ones, but like so many like of the really big marquee ones from Doom to Halo to Call of Duty, like to even Overwatch, which isn't as big as it was, but that's
pretty big.
Hang on, Fungal in chat writes, from what I've heard, Xbox went from around 6 to 10% of the market after Activision. That doesn't sound real. That sounds incredibly fake. Not to say like you're lying or anything. It just doesn't sound real. That, especially considering the fact that Microsoft doesn't even really like release like sales figures for any of their consoles because they.
But was it saying that they're the third largest? Well, maybe not largest, but if you break down the profit and add in all of the Activision Blizzard things.
Yeah, but like 6 to 10% would mean like they sold like 12 million consoles in a day, like.
Well, I think they mean the software market, not the hardware market.
I guess, but even that's still.
Or yeah, because like their revenue, it's funny because the revenue is still behind Sony. So
it's behind both of them. It's behind both Sony and Nintendo because they and that's not like a dig against Microsoft. Like that's just like their strategy. Like they sell the Series S and X at a loss.
Let me find this.
And Game Pass isn't exactly a. Game Pass itself is not exactly making money. It's people buying like games on sale and like DLC for games on Game Pass. That's like making money.
which I do not do at all. So
I don't remember where I saw this, but they're saying that now
It's a decent strategy. It means that Game
It
Pass
is.
the biggest gaming company as far as revenue for last year is Tencent, and then it's Sony,
of course.
Yeah.
and then it's Microsoft.
Oh.
If you add in Activision, like that's what I read.
Oh, if you add in Activision, okay.
Okay. All right.
Which I'm surprised Sony's making so much, but
Well, Sony sells everything at a profit.
Everything,
That's yeah. Except maybe the digital PS5, and that's why there's only like 5 of them in the world. Like,
yeah, Arrow was saying that Unreal Tournament 2012 died because of Fortnite.
it is true. They
yeah.
made like a they made it wasn't 2012, it was 2016. Sorry to do that to you, but like they made a new Unreal, but the gimmick was that like you make it. And so they basically just dropped the engine on the Epic Game Store, and then they were like, well, the community will do the rest. And then the community did not do the rest.
That's very funny.
Yeah, it's weird. It's like weird and scummy.
I think the really interesting thing about like, because already people are talking about like, oh, what games what franchises are going to get revived? Or what studio is going to make like new games? Like, are they going to make a Crash game now? Are they going to make Spyro? Are they going to make Tony Hawk? And like, sure, it's most likely going to be a possibility. But I'm more interested in like what of their backlog is going to get re-released, because that seems way more interesting to talk about.
Yeah, we were kind of talking about that before, and about whether or not, you know, like Microsoft will bring back like the backwards compatibility program to like flesh out everything. Because they could, but it's like they said they're not going to do it. So I'm you know, curious what that means.
Could you elaborate? You mean like backwards compatible for like what their? Because I thought the Series X already was backwards compatible.
Yeah, but not with every video game. It's
only
it's a game.
right?
It's a game by game basis.
Okay.
And they after the last like slew of games, they were like, oh, this is the final time we'll be updating the backwards compatibility program with new games due to licensing.
Oh,
so maybe because they own Activision, it's not a big deal, but like, who fucking knows, you know? Like,
right. I mean, they might. I'd hope that they wouldn't go for option. Okay, let's just re-release them instead of like just let people use their old copies and stuff like that. That would kind of suck.
Man, this Hori controller, this is so off topic, but that Hori controller is sick.
I'm looking at it. Yeah,
it looks so badass. I gotta put the picture in.
Let's talk about that.
Yeah, let's talk about this cool fucking Hori controller, gamers. Like, holy shit, this thing looks cool. It's like a Spazzy. Do you see this? Where did Spazzy go? Spazzy's dead. Oh, he's muted. But yeah, Hori's apparently working on this like modular controller with the idea that it's like one big arcade pad that you can use to play every Arcade Archives game, and man, it looks fucking cool. Like it's got like the Ikari Warriors like spinning joystick. It's got a trackball. It's got like a Arkanoid knob, and then like you can just like swap out all the different components with really whatever you want. I'm sure this thing will end up being like $200, but I mean, this might be like the best retro arcade controller ever. So seems like it'd be worth it.
The confusing part to me is like, are there's like 4 different image options or 3 different image options? Is that like that the setup that they're asking what people want? Like, oh, you can like have it.
Yeah,
with, like,
well, it's not
arcade dock, and you put on the other.
Yeah, they're currently asking what like how they should sell it. It seems like they want to do like a modular one, which is the one that I have on screen, but then they also want to do like self-controlled units that you can just kind of buy on their own.
Mm-hmm.
Hori makes good stuff. I like them. so
Give me a second. Let me just fucking little brothers.
Okay. All right. Okay.
That controller looks pretty sweet. I like that it has a trackball.
Yeah.
I feel like more games need to use trackballs. It's such a great control method that just never gets used anymore. The knobs are stupid though. I've never liked knobs like that.
I kind of like that it has the Ikari Warrior stick.
Yeah.
The one that you can like spin while also using it. I remember I went to like, oh god, what the fuck was it? It was either like one of the very like early Magfests or like the first SGC or something, but they had like a they had like an Ikari Warriors 3 machine. And I remember just like, oh yeah, it's a joystick, but you can spin it. And it's like, what the fuck? And it's honestly like it's really cool. It's so you can it's because you can
It's like using a twin stick with one hand.
yeah, exactly. You can turn while moving in a certain direction. It's real neato.
Yeah, you can twist it so you can turn, and then you can just actually use 8 directions to move.
Anyway, yeah, that thing is sick. I really hope I hope that's soon. Yeah, I want it. I bet that thing would be really nice for like puzzle games. You can like swap out the little bits.
Yeah.
It's kind of its own
Bet it's good
game.
for could you imagine if you can like properly map that rotating joystick for like Tetris? So you can use the stick to like move the pieces, and then you can like turn it with the joystick turning. Oh, that'd be sick. I'd be so for that.
I hope that you still be able to use it for fighting games. That feel like it would be pretty
interesting. Absolutely. Well, we're hitting the end. So anyone have any final thoughts they want to share?
I don't know. I mean, I'm very interested to see how it happens and if it happens sooner than later, because they're saying like, oh, the deal finalized or whatever, and like or the deal should be closed by 2023. But it's kind of like that's a we just started 2022. Can like I get it that deal things have to settle.
Well,
that everything
the
to get
way
organized
it's worded,
but I would really like to see it happen sooner than later.
They said the deal will close anywhere between May of this year and June of next year. So it could happen by the time they release the next Call of Duty game this year.
Yeah.
Spazzy, do you have anything to add?
No, man, we talked about this for like 2 hours. So.
That is true. Well, then I guess we're gonna call it there. Thank you,
Microsoft
Spazzy.
card.
Yeah.
Give us a Microsoft card.
All right. Lord. Well, thank you, Spazzy, for joining us. Thank you, Phantom, for joining us briefly.
Felt like it was hard to come on.
Oh, damn! They're roasting you in the chat.
What are they? Who?
Damn! I popped in last minute. It's okay. So did Phantom.
I don't know who you are, Excarious, but you must think you're a funny person, huh? Right? Play me in Smash Brothers. I'm joking.
That's cute. Anyway, gamers, shout out to our patrons as always. Ooh, look at that cute little transition into the Patreon end card. Isn't that slick? Aren't we cool and neato? Anyway, yeah, links down below to all of our respective outlets. Our Patreon is down there. Go give us a few bucks a month if you want. It really helps out the site and all the other kind of cool, fun stuff that we have planned and want to do. And, yeah, I don't know. Have a good one. Have a good Sunday. Play fucking Tetris Effect.
When Jermis 2 came out, play that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Goodbye. Goodbye.
Good morning.